What's going on, everybody? This is Boxingwave, and I wanted to speak on the David Avenesian, Terrence Bud Crawford glove situation. All right. So we know that Crawford scored a 6-round knockout against Avenesian on Saturday night on the BLK Prime pay-per-view. All right. I did address this yesterday when I made, I was doing the commentary for Inoue and Butler. All right, the other day, but not a lot of people saw that video, so I'm gonna give you my stance on it now. It's been a few days, and this is starting to pick up steam. You know, a lot of channels are pushing a narrative that Crawford was cheating and that his gloves were loaded. Okay, Everlast, the brand of the glove, they come out and reported that, or made a statement that they're taking full responsibility of this glove malfunction, saying that the leather on the glove was poor quality, or something was wrong with their glove, and they're taking responsibility of the glove being damaged or just defective, right? So they come out and made a statement. David Avenesian. Now, I haven't heard of an official statement from David Avenesian. I've heard people talk about what David Avenesian feels, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything on David Avenesian. All right. But regardless, it's more about Crawford and the gloves and the commission to me, and the referee as well. And I'll explain. After the 5th round was over, Crawford and Avenesian went back to their neutral corners. Okay. They come out in the 6th round, and the referee starts the round by stopping it and letting Crawford go to his corner, where the referee tells, I guess, staff or representatives of the commission or the WBO, look, they're split in Bud Crawford's gloves, both gloves. Now, from the pictures I saw, it looks like the thumb area, the padding is out, like the glove is split and it's sticking out. And then on the left hand, like kind of where the chopping area is split wide open here, right? So you have the split here, and then you have the thumb that the padding is like falling out of, right? So Bud, he's leaned over on the ropes. His gloves are out. There's a representative that looks at the glove. You see a gentleman wearing a black blazer say to the gentleman in front of him in a red shirt something, we can't hear it, but they give the okay to let the fight continue. The ref says okay, they fight. Crawford knocks him out later that round, and the fight is over, right? That's the end of that. Now, this is the issue that I have with this, and I'm going to be as neutral as I can, because you guys know I am a big Bud supporter. I am a supporter, but I'm willing to call out if there's something wrong in a situation like this. The commission, the referee, why is she at blame? She's at blame, in my opinion, because she has the power to say, these gloves are defective, clearly, right? They're damaged. We know for a fact, Everlast came out. We all know that there's something wrong with the gloves. We don't have to be glove experts. I know there's a lot of people that's going to come out now. They're saying that this, that, similar to Glovegate with Fury and Wilder a couple years ago. Same thing. We don't have to be expert. We clearly see that something is wrong with these gloves. There is a chance where, and Antonio Tarver, shout out to him because he's saying it while giving a commentary on BLK Prime. He feels like I feel, and everybody feels, that they probably should have stopped the fight and swapped the gloves, right? Put on those second pair of gloves so we can let this fight continue. All right. Now, if by chance there isn't a second pair of gloves, because it's rumors or there's stuff going around that the second pair of gloves might have been damaged too, or whatever, I don't want to go into that because I don't know if that's factual. All right. But what we do know is that these pair of gloves right here were damaged, right? We clearly see that. The referee, you are the referee. You are in control of this fight. while you're in there, you probably don't see this every day. I know we don't. You probably should say, I'm not letting this fight continue unless this glove situation is fixed. I don't want to be held responsible if something is to happen. I think that would have been the right thing to do. You know, we seen referees, yeah, even though the commission or whoever's on the side is saying what, the referee is in the ring. And I've seen some very aggressive referees saying things like, we're not letting this fight continue unless this is fixed. I think Fury had a glove situation early in his career where there was a problem, a defect with the glove, and the referee inspected it, and he did not allow that fight to continue unless they fixed that situation or whatever. There was something done there. There was inspection done. He literally grabbed onto the gloves. I can't remember the whole thing, but this referee just let the fight continue. The commission, they're at fault because you should let that glove get swapped so we can let the fight continue. I understand that it's just David Avanesian. I know no one cares about David Avanesian. I know the fight is in Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? It's in Omaha. You got 17,000 people in there. We don't want to disrupt the crowd and make them boo. I know there's people that paid to watch the fight, like myself, on pay-per-view. I don't want it to be stopped. You know, I mean, I didn't watch it live, but because I was at the other fight. But I don't want it to be stopped. I want to see the fight continue. You know what I'm saying? But what I saw was the fight continue. I seen that Bud let these guys, look at the gloves at this period, at this time. I didn't even realize how bad the gloves were. I didn't even know at the time that both gloves were defective. I mean, I'm watching it, but I'm not like zoned into it. I'm kind of just watching the fight. I already knew the outcome of the fight. I'm just waiting for the knockdown or whatever. This whole thing blows up. And this is another thing. There's a few key things with this whole situation. Safety of the fighters. Safety for Avanesian because he's the one that's getting punched in the face by these gloves. Safety with Crawford's hands, of course, because he's the one using the gloves. And also safety for Bud's reputation. Period. We saw what Glovegate did the other year with Fury and Wilder. People spent the entire year just talking about that in the boxing community. At least 8 months, people were just talking about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. People made a killing, made hundreds of thousands and probably millions of views just eating that situation up. I think I made one video on that. Just eating it up, arguing, going back and forth. And that was it started with the first fight. It wasn't even from the rematch. So my thing is this should have been done. The commission has a responsibility. You have one job. Don't look at the gloves from a distance. Inspect the gloves, or don't even inspect them on the scene. Just take it. Take the gloves off and swap it. Put on the second pair. Take those gloves to the back. Do your inspection. Do whatever just to make sure they're not tampered with. And that's the end of it. This would have been over. But now you got people making up all of these theories, saying that Bud's a cheater, saying that the gloves were loaded. Why? Because nothing was done. Now people are going to eat off this too, because that is pretty much what people on the internet does. There are going to be anti-Bud people that are pro-Spence people or pro-PBC or whatever that's going to jump on this because that's what they do. Or there could be people that just don't like Terrence Bud Crawford for whatever reason. And there's going to be Crawford people that's going to defend anything that happens with him. Well, this is the thing. What side you're on, or if you're just a neutral person and you're just looking at the situation as in, hey, or you could be a Bud fan and say that this situation is kind of fucked up. Whatever stance you take, at the end of the day, this shouldn't have went down this way. Because now it's like, what's the point of having a commission if you're not going to inspect the gloves? What's the point of bringing a second pair if you're not going to switch into them if the first pair is damaged? What's the point of having a job? You get what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to Bud Crawford, there's no proof or evidence that he tampered with the gloves. There's no proof that the gloves were loaded. Where does that come from? Well, it's probably coming from people, for the most part, people that are anti-Bud. But there are people that are pro-Bud that probably feel like, I've never seen this happen before. I mean, both gloves, not one, but both gloves were damaged or defective. Something's up. I've never seen that before. And before all of the glove experts jump into the comments talking about Everlast gloves or horsehair and all of this stuff, at the end of the day, those gloves should have been swapped. It doesn't matter if you think Everlast is a trash brand. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when is the last time you see both gloves just fall apart in the middle of a championship fight, especially on a fight at this level? At this level. I saw the picture of the gloves. The gloves looked terrible. They did. You know, they look bad. So with that being said, I think the commission dropped the ball. All right? I don't think this is Terrence Bud Crawford's fault. You know, the commission should have checked the gloves right there. And the referee should have did her job to not let the fight continue without letting the glove, me as a viewer, you know, who watched it later, I'm just thinking like, oh, they let it go. They let it continue. You know? When I saw the pictures of the gloves later, I was like, oh, this is kind of bad. You know, you should have at least took off the gloves, inspected them, just to eliminate any thoughts of there's some kind of foul play. Everlast coming out later and taking responsibility is just damage control, because their brand looks bad right now. So they have to come out and say that this is out for the leather quality or whatever it is that they said was poor for these gloves. All right. I mean, there are custom gloves. They have Terrence Crawford's logo on it, but you know, they're defective gloves. So they have to take responsibility of the glove, right? They're saying that the gloves were defective. It is what it is. There are defective gloves. I'm sure there's been plenty of defective gloves. It's defective, any kind of equipment or product you get, they're going to have the defects in some of them. But with that being said, Everlast wasn't there. They don't do the glove inspection on the night of the fight. The commission does. The WBO is, or the Nebraska State Athletic Commission, or whoever is running this fight, are the ones to make sure that these gloves are good before or during the fight. So they dropped the ball. Now, Crawford is he's getting the backlash from it. He shouldn't have gotten. Crawford should get backlash if we find out later that these gloves were tampered with. But there's no proof of that. People are just saying he's at fault because they never seen two gloves get damaged before this way. All right? And I've heard some people defend it, and yeah, they made points on, yeah, well, you punch them with the knuckles, and you know, the areas where the gloves were split, they are not, you know, you're not having any effect on the actual punch or the actual knockout. Well, how do you know? You don't know neither. Nobody knows anything. This is why I hate, like, I said this with Fury and Wilder. I said, none of us know. All we know is that those gloves were damaged and the commission allowed the fight to continue. We don't know if those gloves were loaded, but we don't know that those gloves didn't have some kind of effect on his power. We know that Bud has knocked out a lot of other fighters. You know, he's knocked out, I don't know how many fighters he's knocked out in a row, but he's knocked out a lot of fighters. So I'm sure that Crawford hits very hard. But at the end of the day, we know that those gloves, specifically those gloves, were defective. We know that for a fact now. So there's no way to judge how the fight would have played out. There's no way. Of course, I thought Crawford was going to knock out David Avenesian. I mean, he was a heavy favorite to knock him out. You know what I'm saying? It was more about which round was it going to be, and it was the 6th round. But the right thing to do is to just stick to the rules, swap the gloves, and just eliminate any chances of any foul play. All right? We know David Avenesian is not Errol Spence. All right? We know that Bud was going to knock him out. You know what I'm saying? But do the right thing. Just go by the rules. You go by the rules. You know what I'm saying? And this, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. You know? But until something comes up, like something real, not just like YouTubers or just people on the internet, until something real comes up, there's no evidence of any foul play here. It's just lack of responsibility from the commission in a already very dangerous sport. People die in the ring. So I think the right thing to do is to make sure everything is on point, especially when it comes to the gloves. All right? Just based on the history of the sport, just got to make sure everything is on point. And that's my stance, really. I mean, I will follow up if we find out later, you know, if this fight ends up being overturned. You know, I don't know what David is going to do. You know, I don't know if he's going to really push to have this get turned into a no contest because the gloves were defected. If that were to happen, I mean, it will eliminate the loss on his record, you know. But this is all the commission fault. This is not this is not Bud Crawford's fault. Unless something comes out later that proves that the gloves were tampered with prior to the fight. But if they were, that would have also been a commission problem because they inspect the gloves before the fight. They inspect the gloves. They're supposed to. So I'm thinking that they inspected it and there was nothing wrong. That's what I'm thinking. But now, because of their poor judgment, now they're leaving it all up to the internet to figure out what's going on here. So now we're hearing a million theories. You know? I don't know the truth. I'm waiting on it, but I don't know the truth. And I don't think anything further is going to really happen. I think the most that's going to happen out of this is they might overturn the win for Crawford and turn it into a no contest. Or, you know, Crawford might lose some credibility for some people that think he's at fault and that he did tamper with his gloves. Maybe he loses some to some of his fans. He didn't lose any with me because I don't think he's at fault. You know, I think the commission is at fault, the WBO and possibly the referee for not taking a harsher stance on this situation. Antonio Tarver was covering the fight, and I'm basically agreeing with what he said during the fight. All right? Great performance by Crawford, by the way. You guys saw my review of the fight. I went into the whole review of what I was seeing the two when it came to the ring. I wasn't really thinking it was going to be a thing. But, you know, when it happened, I was just like, they should probably swap the gloves, you know? But they didn't. All right. Anyway, I'm done talking on this. And, you know, I know some of you guys have been asking me for the Frank Martin, Michelle Rivera breakdown. It's coming. I'm going to do it tonight. The reason why the hold up is because I just don't like the amount of fights that's available for us to view when it comes to breaking that down. I think it's a real true 50-50 fight. And I wish there was more video available to do film study for them. But I'll do it tonight. All right. Anyway, I'm out. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.